think what bothers me the most about the whole thing is like if you think about it, right? Think about any other fast food restaurant that has a chicken sandwich, right? Like Chick-fil-A, their chicken nuggets are basically bite-sized portions of the same chicken from their chicken sandwich. Yeah. Why would you think Popeyes is going to re-engineer some brand new chicken to make it on 2 pieces of toasted bread with pickles and mayonnaise?
I mean, but if that was the case, if it was well, listen, I'm defending this.
All right,
if that was the case, if it was not some special chicken, and if it was in fact something that they could have just done, why did it go away?
Because they had to figure out a way how to grow more chicken, I guess, maybe. That's the only thing I could think of. Because man, it's I was like, man, if people waited hours and hours for this, I'm like, yo, this is a poor use of time. Like, it's good. Like, I would say I would go back for it, but I'm not waiting like 30 minutes. I mean, I waited 6 and I was like, it's okay.
I ain't even worried about it. I used to love Popeyes, but the last like 2 or 3 times I ate at Popeyes, it effed my stomach all the way up.
I thought the employees cursed you out.
Huh? Hell no. You should know better than that.
What you want?
My Orangeburg would come out, so I'd be flipping shit, throwing chairs in the back. Cuss me out.
Hey man, yeah, I gotta give them employees credit though, because some of the shenanigans that I've been seeing, just like people getting body slammed. Like, why?
Yeah, I think all right, so there's 2 sides to the whole argument.
I agree, yes.
Should and shouldn't be doing. Okay, first of all, you shouldn't put your hands on anybody in anger for anything. Now, there are exceptions. When you try to use racism as a weapon, then I think something should happen to you. Because apparently you hadn't learned about people saying, don't say that shit.
Oh, you talking about the white lady? I saw that video.
Not her. Now the old lady that got slammed, I don't think he should have slammed her. The concrete with such force.
I mean, maybe he knocked the racism out of her.
Oh man,
she might have got up and married a black dude. She might be like, "Oh, why was I ever racist?"
That was almost attempted murder.
That was pretty bad.
It was very close to it if it was not it.
And I mean, not only that, but it was straight on the asphalt. So I mean, she might not even have front teeth no more.
Bro, listen, I think the screaming that you heard was true pain.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
there's no light way to take the cement.
I mean, so man, I'm torn in so many different directions on that. One, there's very few times I think a man should ever put a hands on a woman, right? There's very few times I think a young man should ever put his hands on an old person. Mm-hmm. But I also dislike racism. And at some point, somebody got to stand up and say, look, if you're going to say the N-word in my face, this is what's about to happen, I
mean, that should actually be common knowledge. To be honest with you, that's just science. It's science. Yeah, 2 moving objects going together at the same time. Your hatred and my fist. And then meet in the middle, I guarantee you my fist will win. But it's science.
Especially when you're like 80 years old and I'm like 20. Like,
yeah. But like you said, I won't know until I try it. And unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to try it.
Just
I don't got no wants. I don't got no cares.
Don't go out of your way for it, man. Like, you honestly,
I've had chicken sandwich before. I eat chicken sandwich all the time. So if you want to get real, Russia's got the best chicken sandwich anyway.
No, I disagree.
No, hell no. They put a whole ass
chicken sandwich. Huh? The Wigs chicken sandwich.
You just fall asleep.
I didn't even have an opinion, but that was funny.
All right, so I don't know about the Wigs chicken sandwich. The only thing I ever had at the Wig was Taco Tuesday.
Taco.
But out of like fast food chains, Russia's got the best one anyways. They take a big ass chicken breast, they put the whole big chicken breast on there.
Oh no. That was so disrespectful.
I thought Izzo was in pain. And he's like,
I was being a dick. No, I've actually had it. It is
like, I
good.
mean,
It actually is
my
good.
hand was reaching for the phone so I can call 911 for you. I didn't know what's going on over there, bro.
No, I've had it. It's actually good. It's actually really good. I still like
I don't
Chick-fil-A
know.
better, but it's really good.
I'm telling you, if you in Colombia, go to the Wig and get that chicken sandwich.
Y'all,
I think when
y'all-
we've been there, I've seen somebody eat it. I don't think I had it, but somebody
It
else
was
had
probably me. That was a whole chicken under that bread.
it. Oh, like at the Grand?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
y'all
grand.
bringing Zestos into this though. Zestos probably got the best chicken in Colombia.
I think it's dry as shit, but
yeah,
that's just
I'm
me.
with you. Yeah,
It looks like your
on that
toothpiece come
one.
with a bullet in Zephyr.
Well, I'll take that back. There might be places that may have just cooked it too much too. The one in, I guess you call it what's the one that's like in KC or West Columbia? What you call that one? Triangle City is what they call it.
Yeah,
I do not like that one.
You know, a restaurant is trying to make good chicken when they leave how long you cook it under the employee's discretion. We trust you to cook this chicken without a timer. You do what you do.
Nah, man. That's just like some places got ribs to a perfection. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like the thing just fall off the bone. It's like, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Brianna?
You said who?
Brianna just said scream my name for some.
Oh, right. Don't say that anymore.
Yeah. And other people like what? Okay.
But anyway,
I'm a other person. Hey,
Yeah, I know, right? With all our names sitting right here.
you people.
mhm. Oh, you see the name?
Yeah, I see.
She said, why you yelling though? But anyway, yeah.
All right.
So if you're gonna try chicken sandwich, try chicken sandwich. Rich does not recommend it.
I didn't say that. I didn't
He
say
ain't
that.
saying he don't recommend it. He just saying don't
You hate
wait
chicken.
hours to get it.
Just don't wait 2 hours for it. Yeah,
He's just saying if you happen to roll by Popeyes and Popeyes ain't got but 2 cars in the line, and ride through there and see what I'm talking about.
That is a
Yeah.
very, there you go.
I got you,
That's
brother.
the
I
best
got you.
way to say it, Jason.
That's yeah.
I
That goes
had it,
people-
and yeah.
But don't be jumping on the counter and singing "I Got Sunshine" because you got Popeyes.
I was wishing
Dude,
somebody had
I
pulled
was
his
so
leg
mad at
off
that.
the counter.
He just wanted to go viral. I don't know why he picked that.
That's
song,
all that
but-
was. People doing it for the gram.
Mhm. He'll have a podcast or something soon like us.
Mhm.
Can't knock that.
They gonna
Can't knock the podcast. But anyway, we did have some topics here at some point. Let's see. Which one do we want to talk about? Nice and honest, the art of not being a dick. Now, what I meant by that is some people need the truth. You have friends who need the truth, family members, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes the truth ain't the best thing to tell people because they can't take it. So how do you tell the truth without hurting people's feelings, without coming across as a dick?
Give them a compliment sandwich. Give them a
No.
compliment up front.
Nah, man, you let
Give them the
you-
bullshit and then pat them on the back and their back end.
Nah, man, just go ahead and just lay it out. Be like,
See, that's how people get shot.
Pause. That's how people get pregnant.
Jesus.
I mean,
I know.
I try to keep this thing on a straight and
so
narrow.
I'm thinking about that's being honest while being a dick.
He's talking about what you thinking about saying right now.
You just, I mean,
Yeah. I think sometimes I don't think you should have to cover it. Sometimes you can't. The truth is what's needed at that point, whether you come across as a dick or not. Now, if it's a little white thing, a little white lie, or something small,
I think it deals with its context, but it's also with how you want that message to be received and what your intent is. Because it's not if someone asks you like, hey, how does this look on me? And then it's like, you know for a fact that either the outfit that they're wearing just doesn't look right. It's one thing to be like, that's probably not the best thing for you. So yeah, if you're going out mudding or something, or or whatever, like if you're just saying something to be mean, then that's one thing. But if you're saying it to actually help them out, then that's different. That's really where your difference lies. Because, I mean, all right, so Izzo, you and I have both worked in, I think both, Jason, have you worked in clothing retail?
No.
All right, so you and I have both worked in clothing retail and both worked. Yeah, but
Yes.
but the thing is, the nuance is that both of us have worked in retail where we had to deal with opposite sex.
Oh yes,
that's a huge difference because you can't just be like if she's actually a 12 and she tries to shimmy into an 8, you can't be there and be like, oh yeah, this looks great, but at the same time you can't be like, you look like you're about to blow up out of a can of biscuits.
Yeah, I always went back to comfortability and movement and sitting down to where they go, oh yeah. They might be like, this nigga just said I'm fat, but
right.
But at least I didn't get that facial expression to where they knew, they gave me that like, oh, he just pissed me off. That's how I always went about it.
Yeah, you gotta be being honest. It's okay to be honest. It's just that some people just can't take it. It's like, well, you just have to. If you want to walk around looking like you about to be Hungry Jack, then by all means do your thing. But
I just turn around on them. I'd be like, well, how do you want this to fit you, baby? What are you looking for? What are you going for?
Please look at the chat right now, guys. What Amber just said. Rich, that was for you. Remember you used to say that all the time?
What's the can of biscuits? Exactly right. All you hear is
I think it should be. I think the truth should be a case by case basis. Now, of course, I think everybody needs the truth.
I was about to say
as far as just ripping the Band-Aid off of something, sometimes you need that. Like somebody's on drugs, you need to stop. Somebody's in a bad relationship, you need to leave them. Like those are Band-Aid ripping moments of truth. But things of a smaller magnitude, I think you can dress it up. You can still tell the truth, but you can dress it up and almost make it seem like it was their idea, or just find some other way to say it. If your kid, not your kid, but if
well, this is
you knew a kid who was bad at math, but he wanted to be a statistician. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but yeah, he wanted to be a statistician.
Because some people like numbers, man.
Yeah. So what would you tell him? Would you just be like, nah, you too dumb for that shit? Or would you say, I know you like math, but just make sure you have an option for the future. Just make sure you're good at a lot of things, not just one thing.
You're telling a 5-year-old to have a backup plan.
Not a backup plan. I'm just saying spread your interest. Like spread your interest. Don't settle on this one thing. You might like, piano or licking paint or whatever.
You're gonna tell the kid that likes to do math to do sports.
I mean, no, not leave math and do sports, but just know that you like different things.
No, I mean there is a time, because sometimes there is a natural thing to be said if you're actually practicing or working at something where eventually you will get better at it. Some of us are not. You can try as much as you want, and some of us are not going to get into that upper echelon of performance for an athlete or any subject matter that someone wants to learn. So you got that piece of it, but at the same time, it's like, how I think we've talked about this briefly is like, with participation awards and all that other kind of stuff.
Bullshit.
Yeah. It's like at some point you just have to be frank and say, look, this isn't exactly your strong suit. And there you go. Unfortunately, the thing is you were talking about how people can't deal with the truth. They said, I can't control how you feel about it. I can control the way I deliver the information. I have no control of how that information is received.
But if you're around somebody who can't take it how you're going to say it, and you have to dress it up, doesn't that leave you a kind of a dirty feeling after you tell them?
No.
So in order to get that clean feeling you get from telling the truth the only way you know how, you might have to hurt people's feelings. You have to not be a dick, but then still keep your spirit clean.
You have to, as long as you see, but I think that still comes back to how we were saying how it's context. It's like you can't, if you are intending to be a dick, so to speak, then that's what it is. But if you are honestly telling someone some information that they need to hear with kindness and grace, then in all honesty, it's really not so much of a problem. It's just that they aren't ready to receive that message yet. And that's just the way that it is. I can't control that. If I say that, hey, you're doing something wrong, or if it's or something that they could perform better at. If you're saying that they need to improve, or you're saying they need to get better, or you're saying that this option is not the best thing for you, and they don't like to hear that, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just the way that it is. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, but sometimes, there are some of us who, and let's be honest, there are some people who receive things better by, quote unquote, being a dick, like having that edge of sarcasm in there, because that just kind of leverages the thing. Oh, look, we got a visitor.
Hey.
Oh. Tell everybody, hey.
So we got.
I'm on the wrong screen. I guess I'm behind. I'm looking at the Facebook.
Someone asked if we ever had a female's point of view on here. So,
here
we go.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was gonna say.
What did you just say, Brian?
I forgot what
All right, say bye.
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 Why you sound so stoic, Rich?
Wait. What? You said bye.
You said bye.
But don't you think, like, okay, so like you said, some people can't take it.
Right.
I still think that's one of those things where even if, and the bad part about it, about being a dick, so quote unquote, and having to tell the truth all the time in order to keep your spirit clean, is that, which could be a good thing, you have fewer people around you. Because a lot of people don't like that truth teller. A lot of times for good reason. But it's only when the truth teller tells the truth for no reason. Like, it was no point in you bringing that up, But if it's requested, then they come because they know what you're gonna say.
Sometimes soliciting your opinion when it's not warranted, does kind of fall into that category. Like, yeah, you're just being a dick. Sometimes.
I think that's another level.
But like if someone's heading for a cliff and you're like, if they want to keep going for it, but then you're like, hey, you need to stop, and turn around, they keep going. It's like, well, I did what I was
those
supposed
are the ones I was talking about earlier, the Band-Aid rippers. So those are the things that you have to be who you got to be in that position to save a life.
Sometimes people need to get kicked in the chest, man.
Yeah,
like Tom did in the Boondocks.
But it's like I said, it's only when needed. I don't think you have to be like that with everybody, but you still gotta look after your own spirit. You said what? You can't, man. You just can't.
What? I mean, you guys have known me for a long time. I'm a very honest person, and I think
very honest. I'm pretty sure you left a few people crying in your day.
I didn't see it,
but you heard about it. Yeah. So it is what it is. Izzo, what you think?
I think people are. I was about to use the P word. People are punks. There's women in here. Sorry, I'm not going to say that. But I don't know, man. People got to be able to take constructive criticism. Is my big thing. Like at my job, like I want somebody to give that to me. I can't better myself if I don't get it. I think a lot of people wanted to be coddled, want to be patted on the back, but when like you don't perform, they cannot take the criticism. And like, if you can't, man, it's a lot of things in your life that's not going to work out the way you want it to if you can't take criticism. That's where I'm at with it, because I can take it. Doesn't really hurt my feelings, because it's just it's a time to recollect and fix yourself, or fix something, fix an action. I don't know. I just think people are just, I don't know. People feel attacked, and I don't know why people always feel attacked. Not everybody's trying to be malicious to you. They actually are trying to help you at times.
And you actually brought up a good point just now, saying like, constructive criticism, but I like to use the term feedback.
Yeah.
Because
why? Yeah.
It's a big word.
All right. The reason why I say feedback is because criticism just sounds like it's a one-sided. Like I'm seeing that there is a problem, and usually with feedback, there usually is, but at the same time, it's like it gives someone an opportunity. Like, okay, there's a situation. This is another way to respond to it, or this is another way to look at this outcome, instead of just being like, you're screwing up. I need you to work on X, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a lot of ways, what happens is that we get into this, when we start, I think to the point Izzo was making is that it's like people start complaining to you about what you're doing. And I think that's also a difference too, because when you're being a dick about it, it's like you're just complaining about that person to something they probably already are aware of. Whereas if you're giving someone feedback on something, it's not like you're complaining, but you're trying to help them get to another solution.
I think it depends on the context too. Because I mean, if you're talking, let's say you're in a leadership role and you have direct reports, then that completely changes things.
Right. But even if you had direct reports, though, it's still not necessarily saying that you're. I mean, there is a level of criticism per se, but even if you're a leader, you're also trying to get them to a place to where you're saying, okay, this is what you're doing. I need you to respond to get to this result. Okay, how can we do this to get to that place in a better way? Instead of just being like, you screwed up. Now I need you to fix this by tomorrow. And then you walk off and they're crying in the corner, but you didn't see it.
Well, the biggest part about being a leader is knowing how to
deliver it.
Coach everybody differently, because you might have a direct report that wants to hear that they're fucking up and they need to fix that shit right now. But you might have another that can't take it that way, so you have to smooth it over and get to that point.
I would agree.
That sounds exhausting.
But even in that same role, you're not going to just give them that information and then walk off. You're going to give them information and find, even though if you're telling them that, hey, they're screwing up, you're still going to find a way how to make some nuance of how to make them a better person, to get them in line with what you're trying to have them do. Even if you're still like, telling them that they're screwing up with colorful sentence enhancers.
I guess we all agree with
You all agree with what?
After that day, snap, snap, snap. You had anything you want to say, Izzo?
Oh no. I mean, he kind of talked about what I said. It's like turn that constructive criticism into feedback. You said the dick term, but I mean, it makes sense.
But is that something that should be addressed now that there are a generation of kids in schools that are coddling them, and or how do you address that?
I mean,
how you stop turning our kids into wimps and sensitive?
That's a from being a psych major, and like we had to do so many grad classes, even though I never went and got my master's. You go through it. Like right now, they're doing a lot to actually get into like the interpersonal part of the kid now earlier. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times, man, like they got to find different ways to connect with these kids. Because think about like the stigmas like a lot of young black males get when they're very over anxious, when they just act out, they talk too much. They may tend to say they're either acting out and send them to the principal's office. They may tend to throw them in a special needs program when all they got to do is find a different approach.
Yeah,
to teach them. So, I mean, I like that they're going interpersonal in schools and stuff like that. But some stuff, man, if they're bad, they're bad. We know, like they got to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we got to teach them like you will fail in life. You got to pick yourself back up. Everything's not a win. For every loss, you don't get ice cream at the end. It just doesn't work that way.
If you don't do the work, you're not going to get paid in some instances.
Correct.
But what they're teaching kids is even if you come in and do the bare minimum, the best you can expect is a trophy.
My thing is, if I do the bare minimum, guess who probably ain't getting a raise? Think about that for us as grown adults. Some places you might get a little bit. Some places you might not get a damn thing.
They're actually training these kids to not want anything.
What you mean?
Because they're going to get out into the world. They're going to graduate college. They're going to get a job, and they're not going to want any more money than they're getting now because they don't know how to work for anything harder.
So they want them to be slaves to the system. I ain't trying to get super deep. They just want them to be a machine.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Machine, that's it.
That's what's going to happen.
Interesting.
So they're going to be
Look, I think Amber said it. Fuck a participation award. You know what I mean? If you ain't earn it, You don't deserve it.
Yeah, I know a lot of parents are pulling their kids out of these teams and sports because of the participation trophies, because they know that's not teaching their kids anything about responsibility or working harder or struggle or moving from one situation to another just by the way you work to get there.
See, I say we could reward hard work, but I don't say we reward like you gave a half-ass effort and did this, and it's like, oh man, I hurt. Nah, this is what you need to look at. You see how you prepared? You didn't prepare. This is what happens when you don't prepare. You should not get nothing after that. Maybe you should give them that talk and be like, hey, I still love you, blah, blah, blah. But like, this is how it feels when you don't prepare in life. Like, this is your result. Right. That's where we should coach kids. Not necessarily like not kill them, but like beat them down. No, not like that. I was like, beat them down. Like, man, you suck, blah, blah, blah. You should have did this. No, just coach them in the moment. Like, just say, this is what happens when you don't prepare, when you half-ass it, when you go through that. That's what I heard when I was a kid.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a kid that's sitting on like the bench on a baseball team, knowing he's going to get a trophy at the end of the season and not going to do anything better or try harder the next season to get off that bench.
Yeah, I mean, that don't even make any sense to me because, man, sports for kids are expensive. Especially, I mean, so a parent to turn around and be like, hey, oh, you got your participation award. You sat there. You don't want to, you're okay being a 5, you know, you don't want to be a 1 or a 2. You just want to sit back there, get your little participation award. But I just spent $500 for you this season. Hell no.
That jersey going to be pristine at the end of the season.
If my daughter gets into some sort of sport and she sucks at it, but she loves doing it, that's one thing.
Right.
I'll cheer her on every single step of the way. But if she gets in it and she don't even try,
thank you,
she gonna find something else to do.
Even if they're good and they don't try, I'm gonna be mad. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
But unfortunately, by the time your daughter plays sports, that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be a blanket. Everybody gets a trophy.
I don't know if it's gonna be like that, man.
Unless it's for the rec teams.
I mean,
but she ain't gonna play for a school, not an elementary school, and not get away from that.
If she gets a trophy, a participation trophy, I'm not gonna be one of these parents that yank it from her and belittle it, throw it in the trash or whatever. But I will sit down with her and make her understand the difference in a participation trophy and an actual trophy.
Yeah,
you know, like you got this because you participated, right? That makes sense. If that's the way this world's going to be, everybody on your team got it because you participated. Now, are you happy just getting participation, or do you actually want to be something great in this sport or this whatever, playing this instrument or whatever you into?
You're so much better.
What you're saying is pretty much is don't yank your kid away from it. Just explain the purpose and the point,
right?
While you're there. And like you said, $500 or however much it is to keep a kid on a team is a lot of money for somebody who ain't gonna try.
But you also don't know what that means to the kid too, right? Because like a participation award might mean everything to one particular kid. Right. So why should I belittle that kid for it? If that's where they at, that's where they at.
I see what you're saying.
But if they really want to reach to this level, then let me know so I can help you get there.
But let's go back to the other point though, because I totally agree with you. Because if someone's, let's say for example, if they are doing the best that they can, they're putting all their heart into it, and let's say they're still extra mediocre, right?
Right. It might be just not their skill.
Yeah, that's fine.
No mediocre.
But if you ain't trying, you said we're gonna get home. And I'm gonna roll over that participation trophy. Like, see, this is what you did.
What the fuck? That is completely out of the
It's not. It's not.
You did this to my heart.
You see this? You see this?
I was talking about letting them know the difference.
Not Jason. Richard gonna get his little saw and put that bitch in the garage and just saw straight through it.
Wait a minute, son. Let me show you what we do about participation trophies.
I mean,
now go pee on it.
Cover it up with dirt when you're done.
I'm gonna get the dog in the market.
Take it back to school. Show them what you do.
It ain't even yours.
Oh, poor kid. But one of y'all was about to make a point. Was it you, Rich?
No. That was just
yeah, it wasn't me either.
We done.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were about to go in.
But yeah, okay. So this feeds in. It's hard to be a kid nowadays.
Yeah,
I don't know how I would
segue, though.
adapt to
Mhm.
being in school right now with as much social media, and
I
access.
wouldn't be able to deal with it.
It's like you see kids now and they're stressed. We used to look stressed, but it was because I gotta wash the dishes and mom get home in an hour.
I have to do work when I get home. You're right. Yeah.
Exactly. But now it's like,
I got that ass cut
did I do anything wrong at school? Did I have my shoes untied? Did I fall? Did I drool when I was eating my food? You got to worry about everything because everybody's recording every single event at school.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it's a good thing because you catch some heinous shit, and then people will pay the price for the heinous shit you caught. Right. Teachers punching kids in the face. I don't know if y'all recently saw the substitute teacher that hit the girl in the face and then slammed her out her desk and then did a back kick when she walked over her and kicked her in the head. Now, that was a good instance. That was a reason for somebody to be rolling the camera.
You know why that happened, right?
Why?
Because she tried to get that participation award.
And she participated in the ass
that
whoop.
teacher said, "Fuck participation award."
I would hope that a teacher would be able to remove themselves from a situation before they get to the point where they want to hit a kid.
Yeah, there's a level of adulting that you should have because like your level of reason should kick in. Like, you know what? This is a child. I can't reason with it. Not him or it. So you just leave it alone, walk back away, and be like, I'm just gonna go take a lap around the parking lot or something.
Yeah, exactly. You should be able to however hard it is, you should be able to walk away from a situation. I don't know what the kids said to the substitute teacher. That hadn't been reported. If it had, I hadn't read it yet.
He back kicked her. I mean,
But
you got some sort of
point where exactly you punch a kid 3 times in the face, slam her out of the desk, walk over her and back kick her or donkey kick her. I think that's what they call it. When you walk over her in the head, what happened?
There's no reason for that, man. Not at all.
Pure rage.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't aware of this situation, so I don't know. I'm not educated enough about it, particularly to speak on it. But the only time that I think a teacher should be swinging is if
I'm listening.
Pause. Oh yeah. The only time I think a teacher should ever swing on a kid is if that teacher's getting their ass whooped, and then you gotta defend yourself. And I don't know if you've seen some kids these days. Some of them jokers are big.
Right.
That's that chicken. That Tyson.
Hey, I mean, if I'm a high school teacher and I get crossed and my head's spinning a little bit, I'm gonna swing first. I got to get myself out of the situation.
But see, they still hold the teacher responsible.
I mean, yeah, true.
Because
your back's against the wall. Find a way to fight your way out the corner. Now, the other side of that is majority of the kids ain't gonna be able to. I mean, even if a little 16-year-old was to cross a grown man, generally speaking, that little 16-year-old ain't gonna have the power behind his punch for it really to matter so much. So you should be able to get out of the situation. But that is kind of a case by case because, man, when I saw one of his football players, he was like 17 years old. Joker was 310 pounds, 6'4". If he crossed you, that's a grown man crossing you. I don't care if he's 16, 17 or not.
Fight or flight, you better make your choice right then. And if you fight him, you want to know the consequences.
Right.
But I don't know, but I just think teachers who stay in the profession for a long time are special people.
Yeah, they got to do a lot.
Because like I said, it ain't our class anymore. It's not us. You go to school and you fight and somebody hear about the fight because nobody saw it. You know, they can make up whatever lie you want to, whatever lie they want to. That was the worst thing that would happen to us.
And like a lot of that stuff would fade. People might remember some stuff, but like it would fade. Now this shit like lives forever in somebody's cloud or whatever.
Yeah, back then somebody was like, "Didn't you fight so and so?" You can deny it at that point because we old.
You think about Jeff.
Exactly. But now it's like, didn't you fight Jared? No, here's the video.
The video. We saw your head do a 360.
Yeah.
My bath tough lip up.
So,
360.
I think that kids these days do have it really hard because bullying has always been around, right? But now bullying is on a whole nother level when it comes to social media. Number one, because it's constant. So if you get bullied at school when we was growing up, you go home, that bullying ain't there. Right? You got to deal with it in the daytime, but you go home and you fine. Or you can check that bully and keep it moving, but that's a whole different conversation. But now you getting bullied at school, then you go home and you still getting bullied on social media. Right? So that's hard for them. I guess for me, I don't understand. Like if there was a video of me slipping in the lunchroom and I fell and my face went right in my food, I'm gonna get up and laugh and go take a shower in the locker room and keep it moving. And I'm gonna laugh at the video when it gets posted.
You heard me?
So,
no, cry in the locker room. That's smart.
Cry in the locker room. I said take a shower in the difference in taking a shower and crying. But if you cry in the shower, it's kind of depressing. But I feel you, brother. I feel you.
Can't see your tears in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these are digital hugs for you right now, Brian.
I appreciate it. But yeah, you're right. It follows you, and it is forever. And if it's something that's hilarious, then there's going to be music to it. There's going to be voiceovers to it. It's going to be remixed, and then you're going to be a viral sensation while getting your ass whooped.
Hey, but capitalize on it. That's all I'm saying. Capitalize on it. You remember a few years back when Clowney came through the line and he just bulldozed old boy and palmed the football and ran it on. The dude that got hit went on a signing tour, signing his jerseys, saying he was the one that got smashed by Clowney. Pause.
Speaking of which, he scored a touchdown tonight.
Yeah. So,
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
All I'm saying is capitalize on it. If something bad gonna happen, it doesn't happen.
These kids thinking about that. I mean, at 10, 11,
that's because parents and everybody's not instilling the confidence in that child. If that child comes up and is confident enough, it don't matter what happens, you can get through it.
Everybody doesn't have that at home.
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I mean,
that also goes back to participation trophies. It does. It really does. It's a weakening of a confidence or a level of anybody that wants to proceed.
So I just got done reading a book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport was the author of the book. Hey man, that's what you grow, man. So anyway, so what the book's about is basically how we use our technology basically owns us in the sense of we're always using it, and then I know we're posting this on Facebook, but how these social media platforms, they're designed just to soak up all of our time to get ad revenue, essentially is what it comes down to. So one of the things, I'll be honest, it's a recommended read. People who are probably in technology really it's nothing that they're going to find that's profound about it. But the one thing that I did like is that they brought up the point about how children are engaged in social media and how it actually breeds a whole new level of mental disorders based because of the same things we're talking about them being connected all the time. Because one of the things that, if how whenever you go on a retreat or something and they say, get rid of your phone, do this and that, don't worry about your text messages and all that, you kind of come back and you're refreshed because you had a chance to actually be in your own thoughts. See, children now, they don't do that. They're basically always connected and someone's telling them how they should feel about, whatever situation has had. So to Jason's point, let's say you fall in the lunchroom and stuff spills all on your face. You go in the locker room, cry, take a shower, whatever the case may be. But after that, you still have to deal with the fact that you're going to be constantly reminded of that situation day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
You'd never have a chance to where you can just unplug from all of that, because that's kind of a part of how our ecosystem works now. So to that point, it's just like, it's not saying that we're, like we can say we can instill confidence in them, but it's also the fact that there's behaviors that have to change in order to make it where, we're not so interconnected all the time. Because, think about it, like kids don't talk to each other anymore. They text.
I mean, I just think that's, go ahead.
I mean, no, go ahead. You're good.
Well, I just think at this point with where we are with technology, I don't think there's any corrective action unless you just unplug everything and stop the internet.
I mean, but who
We're
says
in a rabbit hole right now?
Who says you can't do that? Because the one thing about computers and how we use them now is that they are multi-purpose devices, but they don't have to be like, you don't have to multitask and do everything on them at one time. I mean, a computer can be a device to do what we're doing now. It can, because like, let's be honest, none of us are looking at our phones right now. We're actually actively engaging in a conversation. We're not looking at our phones. I mean, whatever.
What?
Whatever.
Dick.
Yeah, at least he's honest, right? Yeah. So, but it's like, we are constantly engaged with our technology and not engaging with other people and not having also a chance to be in our own thoughts. So I think that's kind of where all of this boils over to, is that really, if we allowed people to just children, whatever, if we just got to a place where we're not constantly looking at our phones all the time and not worrying about what other people think. Because if you think about it, in all of these social media platforms, it's someone else's thoughts on a situation and then it being brought over to you. And I mean, that's essentially what we're doing, but but we're having a dialogue about it and we're engaging with other people in the process of doing that. But
how would you? Oh no. Okay, so how would you start at something like that? How would you implement that? Because I mean, even if they're not around you, they get to school and everything in school now is tablets and laptops.
Yeah. I mean, but see, the thing is, what's the reason? What is the again? We're making the argument
supposed to be.
All right, yeah. What's the thing that they're supposed to be doing with it? Like, if you're saying that because they have they're supposed to be doing work. They're supposed to be using the technology for a textbook. Yes, I can make phone calls. Yes, I can, do Photoshop. Yes, I can do photo editing on it. I can have your tablet can do a multitude of things, but it's supposed to be a focused device and the purpose that you have it at that time. So I think that's where it all comes back to, is that, the technology is not necessarily supposed to, you don't do 15 things in a car. You're just using it to drive. You know what I'm saying? It can do other things. It's just at that moment you're using it for its one purpose at that specific moment in time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to change the way that we are connected with social media these days. I think we have to change more how we respond to it. And that's why I was saying earlier about instilling confidence and building confident youth. And more than that, building youth that are humble and respectful and care about the next person. Because if you stop that, and you take this whole anti-bullying campaign and you start raising good youth that care about the next person, then if a child trips in the middle of the lunchroom and his face goes in the middle of this lunch, then you, instead of having people post it and put memes and everything else on it, you're going to have somebody come over to help this child out.
But I think that gets also back to the same point. I think it's kind of a twofold approach. I think, because you're right, but also the reason why they're doing it is because of the connective social behavior, the social clout behavior behind what these things are designed to do. So
It is twofold. One, you have people come over to help this child, but two, if it does go viral and there's all these memes and everything put out, gifts and everything else, the person that tripped should be confident enough to laugh at themselves about it and say, "Hey, I mean, life happens." You know,
I mean, for a while they'll be able to laugh about it.
It is what it is.
For a while they'll be able to laugh about it, but that stuff does start to dig at you,
right?
You know, so at some point it's going to cause an issue. Maybe it'll be 20 years from now. You know, people will bring it up and it'll just be like, why'd you bring that shit up? I failed 20 years ago. That food's gone.
They going up trying to be, you know, to go run for office, and it's like, you know, back in 20.
Wow. So back in 2019,
right?
Didn't you bust your ass in the cafeteria and shit on yourself? You gotta just tap dance off stage.
You just jump up and you be like, "Yeah, that was me. That happened. Yeah, life happened. Shit happens. It is.
There you go, campaign T-shirt all over again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't.
I'm trying to tell you, like, capitalize on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's some things I don't think you can be like, if you got, like, let's say you got the dog piss slapped out of you or something, like, you can't capitalize on that. You're just gonna have to just eat that.
I mean, but you can though. That goes back to what I was saying about old boy that Clowney.
No, he was supposed to get hit. In football, you're supposed to get hit. You're not supposed to get the dog piss slapped out of you. No. There's a difference.
No, you're not.
I'm just trying to figure out how a human got dog piss in him anyway.
It's a.
How'd you hook Rich just now? That's amazing. Nobody's ever done that. But you're right, man. That slap lasts forever. And then somebody, you know, you talking shit to somebody and they'll show your kids that. Look at your daddy getting his ass whooped.
Right.
I can knock your daddy out just like that. You know? So I mean there are negative things. I'm joking about it, but shit followed. You know, we just lucky we missed it by maybe 3 years?
Yeah, because what Facebook, like, all right, so we have MySpace, but that didn't have like the video capabilities that Facebook had.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Facebook was like what, 2004, 5?
It was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, 2004, 2005, and it really didn't go mainstream until like 2009. So yeah, we just missed it by 3 years.
Because remember, for a while it was just for us college people. Then it went to high schools, right?
Yep.
They opened it up for everybody after that.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Izzo, you just hit me with that. I forgot.
Yeah, man.
What about what?
That it was just for college. I completely.
Because remember all those people who weren't enrolled in school? Like, hey man, how I get a Facebook? You gotta have
like, you can't.
Yeah, like I would hear about like, high school kids on there, and I was like, hold up, you can't let high school kids on this link. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, you had to have an EDU address.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I didn't get on until 2004 and I'm 2005 maybe, and I was already graduated by then. So whenever they opened it up, 2000, you said 2009. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was 2009. It was some years after.
I mean, nobody told you.
But I would hear about it. I was like, hey, blah, 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 Facebook. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And then here you are, Facebook living it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Weird.
High school kids.
Shut up, man, bro. I'm not old.
Yep.
I'm older than some people.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But yeah, like I said, very, very hard. Kids, my heart goes out to you. I know I could never imagine putting up with some of the stress. Y'all, like, kids actually got stress, like legit stress now.
Right.
You know, it was nothing for us when we were kids. Oh, we got to clean up. Oh, we got homework to do. I got to read books and write a book report manually. But now it's all typing and copying and pasting. Hey, y'all remember when they had just started plagiarizing off the internet? Then they started coming out with all those programs.
Yeah,
that could tell where your paragraphs and shit came from.
Yeah,
so you was trying to spell shit wrong.
We missed all that. We missed all that.
No.
I heard it.
I got through college with some good copy and paste.
Oh, we missed all that. Yeah,
that was scary. A lot of people was in the library that that month when all that information came out, trying to write book reports that had never written a book report before in their life. Yeah, but like I said, heart goes out to you.
Amber's called you old and then said you're distinguished.
That's cool. That's cool. That is okay. That is okay. Did anybody have any shotgun issues they wanted to talk about? Anything they wanted to bring up?
No, my shotguns is cleaned up real nice, waiting on any perpetrators to try and come through the door.
See, that's what's wrong. People be waiting to shoot people.
Yep, America.
Maybe you can sit there and have a talk with that young man and wonder why he's in the situation he's in right now, and see if there's anything you can do to help and correct.
Time out.
Time out. You came to your house.
Time out. You went way up.
I ain't got no talking.
Look, I never want to take anybody's life. Come in my door, my window. I got a family to protect. And please believe them slugs are flying your way before I ask any questions. I am not about to sit you down on my couch and be like, young man, let's talk about your life struggles.
In my head, all I heard was like Jason pointing the gun at dude, like, who you with?
All right, Bernie Mac.
Oh, God. Oh, you know, that video came out where the guy had found the young man who stole his bike because he followed the guy. So he goes in the store behind the little kid with the bike. It was pretty much a man, and was asking him. He was like, "Why'd you steal my bike?" He was like, "What did you need it for?" Guy was like, "I needed to get to work," and they worked out a thing. You know, because he sat there, and then actually, I think he gave him a job. You know, another job. So, you know, there's times you can sit there and talk somebody down off a ledge like that. You don't have to run around blasting everybody who steal from you.
I ain't said nobody. I said if you come in my house when I'm here, or
he didn't say anything about theft. He said, you know, entering the property.
Yep. I mean, I commend the old man. That was dope. Especially if the dude that stole his bike was legit trying to get to work. But I mean, I ain't shooting nobody over no bike. But if you try to come in my house, I gotta assume that you mean to do harm to me, my woman, or my little girl. It ain't nothing gonna happen to them. Your body will be stretched out before anything happen to them.
I was just thinking about Tom Segura's Netflix special talking about Scared Straight. Have y'all seen that?
Oh, Beyond Scared Straight?
Not Scared Straight, but he was talking about like dude talking about bikes. Did you ever see that? Man, he was like, because it was like the one thing that this kid stole, and he got up all up in his face.
Oh, was yelling about what he did.
Yeah. So he's talking about bikes, man.
Yeah. I wonder if that show worked, because I mean, every time I watched it, and for those who don't know, Beyond Scared Straight, I think it came on A&E. And it was where they took these kids, of course, to a prison and locked them up with the inmates and let the inmates talk to them and yell at them and scare the shit out of them. No, we did not fire Sosa.
Wait, that was
about to hit the fan.
Oh, you late now, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, they took him to jail and scared him with the inmates, and they would somebody understand that decision. And they would tell them all type of things. It seems like to me, most of the episodes was the inmates talking about raping these kids.
What?
Like that was the majority of the rants that these people were going on.
Right.
Like you make the boy put the Kool-Aid on his lips and telling him he was his bitch now. Like that would scare the shit out of me. Like I don't ever want to commit a crime, and I wasn't even there.
I mean, nobody wants to get raped.
Yeah,
it just that's what the show was. But we have seen Beyond Scared Straight. But it always seems like whenever they talk about the kids afterwards, they always still kept doing the same shit and ended up in jail anyway.
I think you just offended Tyrell. You was talking about rape, and he was like, "I'm out."
No, you offended him. He said, "What Jason say?" I don't even know what you said.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I say so much shit. I don't even know what to.
Yeah. And that's the problem with society. Yeah. But yeah, anybody else had anything they want to go over before we ended this here thing?
I have nothing.
Okay. Rich, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, you good?
I happened to come across an article, and it's about Alex Trebek because he's going back into treatment.
Yeah. That is sad, man. He was doing well, and all of a sudden it just popped back up like that.
Yeah, it is.
So thanks for bumming us out, Rich. Appreciate that.
Sorry, that was
thank you, Richard.
Great way to end the show.
Man, I'm sorry. You asked me a question. I was just trying to give you an answer. I was trying to be honest without being a dick.
Full circle. Full circle.
You asked the question. I mean, I gave you exactly what you mean.
So anyway, thank you so much for joining us, letting us keep you company. If you wanted to listen to the audio, we put the audio on SoundCloud. What you laughing about?
Tyrell, man. Tyrell, man.
He's don't want to go.
He said Jason wants to leave on Rape Talk. Tyrell, he done missed the whole damn show, and then he gets on here and just
at the worst moment. But anyway, if you wanted to hear it again, shut up, Tyrell.
Listen, Tyrell is fired from being in the chat room. He can't be there no more. He's fired from being a friend right now.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and Apple Podcasts. And of course, it stays on YouTube and on this here stuff. You guys have an amazing night. We'll see you next Monday. We'll holla at you. Peace.